Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Honorable Jeremiah Pankwe, Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House, members of the legislature, honorable members of the cabinet, ambassadors of the European Union, Sweden, Ireland, South Africa, and all others present, members of the UN representation, representatives from the civil society, our media, ladies and gentlemen. We are honored by your presence today and grateful for the strong support you continue to show for women's leadership in Liberia. This induction marks more than just a change in leadership. It is a moment to reaffirm the role of the Women's Legislative Caucus and set a clear direction for the term ahead. Our mandate remains focused to work across political lines to advance gender equality and women's political participation, to bring women's voices into legislation, and to make our governance more inclusive and responsive. Liberia still has a long way to go. Women make up 11% of the legislature. At the county level, representation is even lower. We have seen improvements in cabinet and deputy ministerial appointments after the 2023 elections, which is commendable, but overall, the numbers reflect structural barriers that remain unresolved, rooted in long-standing norms on equal access to education, resources, and systems that do not fully support women's leadership. Liberia has signed onto global and regional commitments from the CEDAW and the Maputo Protocol. These are not symbolic. We need to see actions. They come with clear obligations to remove the legal and structural barriers that are holding women back. One of the clearest steps we can take is passing a gender quota law. In 2022, the caucus worked to amend the elections law to include a 30% mandatory quota for candidate lists. The bill passed both houses, but did not become a law. Still, it was a strong signal of what is possible when women organize and act with shared purpose. In this new term, the caucus plans to advocate for comprehensive framework on temporary special measures, including binding gender quota for both legislative and on temporary special measures, including a binding gender quota that will encourage women and make it more enforceable. Our strategic plan from 2024 to 2028 lays out 4 clear priorities: strengthening the legislative function by promoting gender sensitivity lawmaking and championing specific laws that will support gender parity in leadership and reflect the realities of women and girls across Liberia. Reinforce the oversight role by advocating for gender-responsive budgeting and holding institutions accountable for delivering on policies and programs meant to serve women. And on that note, on a side note, I want to thank the Speaker for being far-sighted and mention here in this public manner that he will ensure that there's something in our national budget for the women. To conclude, we are also there to expand the representation by functioning women that are capable, as well as women who have the desire, and to ensure that we work with them to bring them at the decision-making level. Across all of this, we know the barriers women face remain serious. Most women still lack access to information, political financing, network, and of course support. Many carry the full burden of care responsibilities. Others are treading on silence that they may try to lead. These are not side issues. They go to the heart of why representation remains so low. These are some of the reasons the Women Caucus will work with young women through mentorship and initiatives. This work requires partnership. We want to thank the European Union, the government of Sweden, the Ireland for their continuous support and commitment to the advancing women's leadership and gender equality in Liberia. Their support has made it possible for the caucus to remain active, visible, and engaged in critical moments. We are also very pleased to acknowledge the ongoing support of the Indian-Brazil-South Africa Facility for Poverty and Hunger Alleviation Fund that was rendered to the caucus to enhance our work across the counties in Liberia at large. The government of India, Brazil, and South Africa, the fund that was given is there to support new initiative with the Women Legislative Caucus currently under development, which will focus on leadership, economic empowerment, regional exchange for knowledge sharing. We especially recognize the long-standing partnership and technical support from UN Women, whose consistent engagement has been central to the work and visibility of the caucus. We also acknowledge the valuable contributions of the UNDP and of our UN partners in strengthening institutional capacity and promoting inclusive governance. And we will welcome NIMIT as a recent partner to the legislature whose engagement will support institutional capacity building. On this note, on behalf of Honorable Attoh Wreh, the chairperson of the caucus, and my members that were inducted in office today, we have pledged our allegiance to work across all of the counties, despite our political differences, to ensure that we are represented and the number will change from 11 women to more. Thank you very much.
So that was the newly inducted cheerleader of the Liberia Women Legislative Caucus, and thank you. We will be back again because we're facing some technical problem here. Thank you.